Boom! Texas Longhorns with the win. It's time to party, Texas fans. Texas with the 23-6 win over Oklahoma. Frankly, Texas owned the second half from the very first kickoff to the final buzzer. Texas absolutely dominates Oklahoma in the second half after getting off to a slow start on offense, guys. But this is the game Texas absolutely had to win. And guess what? I want to tip my cap before we go any further. Jerry Hamilton, yesterday afternoon, you were talking about Texas needing to be greater than 50% on third down. I told you you were a fool. You are not a fool. You can have a Yingling flight on me. Texas goes 9 of 15 on third down. Arch Manning had his best game as a Longhorn in a competitive situation, in my opinion.
Yep.
Big win for the Texas Longhorns. Jerry, Rob, what do you guys have to say?
That third down stat, by the way, against the best third down defense in the country.
Yes.
So I'll give Jerry a lot of props on that. I picked Oklahoma, so I'll gladly eat my crow at this point and happy to do so. But I got to tell you, I saw something from Texas I hadn't seen. I seen them actually impose their will at times in the trenches. Hadn't really seen that, and that did not expect that either. So I think it's a hell of a bounce back performance by Texas. So I'll give Sark credit. I'll give the O-line a ton of credit. You had injuries on the O-line and still were able to bounce back. I thought Arch had his – I'm with you. I thought Arch had his best game overall considering the circumstances and the opponent. He had to evade, rushers over and over again to extend plays, make plays happen. And time again, he had to put the cape on and keep you out of negative plays. And he did that over. And he kept you out of negative plays. So I think there was a lot of growth on this team today. I'm proud of him.
He dumped it down to Trey Wisner, Jerry. That's what's been missing in this offense.
Well, look, here's the funny thing about all this stuff. We talk all weeks about. Look, I picked Oklahoma too. After last week, I wasn't picking Texas. They had to prove it to me. After you don't show up physically for the fight, you have to prove it to me. And they came back and showed it. I said it was a culture test after Saturday. They passed their culture test today. That's what this was all week. There's a reason the team didn't eat in the tank with the rest of the athletes this week. This was a culture test. Sark knew it, and they passed the test. And the big thing for me in this game was you want to see, as a fan, like this is the thing. Like last week, that was a bad taste in your mouth when a team gets beat up physically, right? Now you want to see how does your team respond to adversity. This is the most adversity this team and program has had since Sark turned the corner. It was this week. And there's no margin for error there's left the rest of the season. So if they didn't turn the corner and they didn't show the fight, that's what everybody wanted to see, how they're going to respond to adversity. And they showed great response to adversity. Yes, Nick Brooks was nervous at the first drive. It's his first ever start in college football. After that guy's going to be a mover of people. But Texas, if they can build from this, and don't be the team that does this and build from this, then they have a chance to go on and do some really good things. But they responded to adversity, which is what you want to see a team do. And I'm happy for Arch, man. You know how hard it has to be Arch Manning when you lose or when you don't play well? Think about all the things that are said about you every single day. So I'm happy that Arch has a positive moment. He needed that because it's been a rough go the first 5 starts as a starter for Texas.
I've got a note coming in from Brian Robeson. I gotta share this with you guys. Y'all better talk X about Mateer. If his last name was Manning, he'd be getting the same X talked about him right now. John Mateer did not have a great game, whether it was because of his throwing hand or not. It was gutsy for him to play. I think everybody agrees with that. But look, 3 picks. He was not particularly accurate with the football. I just got to say this. Arch Manning helped win this game, but somebody posted in the chat, and I want to say this. Trey Wisner is an OU killer.
Yeah.
This is the second consecutive year that his ability to run the stretch play has changed the football game. Both years. Last year, OU didn't have any semblance of an offense. This year, they had a semblance. But last year, it was a stretch play, right? And the cutbacks off of it.
Yeah.
Trey Wisner I think while Arch Manning had a great game, I think it was Trey Wisner that had equally a great game. And I think we need to tip our hat to that young man as well. Great game, Rod D.
Yeah, I mean, overall, what he ended up having, near 130 or whatever total yards receiving and rushing, and he really provided a spark. There were some plays where, he just gave you a great yards after contact, where, and he said last week, I remember him saying specifically after the Florida game that he was speeding things up. He was moving way too fast. For a running back who we always, compliment his patience and his vision. I think he was kind of saying, I need to be a little bit more patient and wait on things to develop a little bit. And it seems like in this game, he figured it out. And against that defensive line, you can tell there are times Texas just wore out Oklahoma's defensive front. And them being the best third down defense in the country is great, but that means they weren't used to being on the field for extended drives. And then the second half, Texas started extending drives. Even at the end of that first half, you're talking about double-digit drives, and you could tell Oklahoma's defensive front got worn out. They were tired. That was the tip of the spear. That's the head of the dragon for this Oklahoma team. It actually is not the offense material. It's just he's the life force of the offense. They had no running game before it. Material went out either. They couldn't really run the ball either. It was just Material was a guy that could hurt you downfield with vertical throws, and he could be a spark as a scrambler and add juice in the running game as a +1. Well, in this game, with the hand injury, he definitely couldn't throw downfield accurately, and it looks like he was trying to protect the hand a little bit even as a runner, and that was smart on his part. But at one point, they basically became kind of a one-dimensional offense, and they weren't really good at that one dimension either. But they couldn't run, and then John Material, when they did have open guys, he couldn't hit them because he just wasn't accurate enough. So Texas just started to feast on that Oklahoma offense, and it was all. It was said and done after that. And
all right, we're going to take more. We're going to take y'all's questions. We're going to talk more about the game, but first, I need to say thank you to our friends over at Flight. It is the next generation of light beer with only 95 calories. It's an easy drinking, upscale light beer designed to elevate your taste buds with just 2.6 carbs per serving. Flight's an easy-to-drink beer with a clean, crisp taste. Try Flight from Yuengling. Thanks to the fine folks at Flight and our friends at Faust Distributing. Jerry and I at the State Fair today ran into Don Faust.
Yeah.
And that was good luck because I tell you what, Longhorns ran it over. Jerry, right before I had to do that ad read, you were getting ready to say something. What was it, bud?
I know. I was like, this is what's interesting today was Oklahoma fans are going to leave this game the way Texas fans felt after the Florida game last week. Their offensive line looked bad. Now, Texas has talent, but they look bad. And if you look at the rest of their schedule, that offensive line's about to be really tested the rest of the way. And now everybody didn't have Texas talent. Like, shout out to Lance Jackson. Somebody said that, a freshman making an impact in this game in his first ever RRS. But their offensive line, the Oklahoma fans are going to be feeling like Texas fans last week leaving the swamp. That offensive line looked horrible today. Horrible. And by the way, Nick Brooks, he was nervous at the beginning of this game, but he's a mover of people. They're going to be better running the football with him and Gooseby long-term this year. Doesn't mean he's going to play perfect, but Nick Brooks will move people in the run game.
Texas suffered some injuries throughout the game. I think Murad Watson left the game, and I don't know that he ever came back. Trevor Gooseby was injured at one point, had to go out, but came back in. But Manny Muhammad and Jalen Gilbo had to leave the game. Muhammad came back in. That was good. 2 picks for Manny today. That's big stuff, Rod. Grayson Littleton also got a pick. What did you see from the defense, Rod, in the secondary that kind of kept OU from – I mean, they hit some big 15 to 25-yard plays, but they didn't hit anything big downfield. Texas either had a combination of rush going on or they were there in pass coverage.
Yeah, they knew based on the way Material was playing that he couldn't throw the football down the field with any accuracy. In addition to, like you said, their pass protection was very, very leaky. So they knew they could beat the guys up front too. And you could tell the DB started getting aggressive, even to the point where they were overly aggressive. Jelani McDonald came down and he got his hands on one, could have had a pick 6, and then came back and got a little greedy on, tried to get another one of those. And then the guy caught it and got big yards after the catch. But I think they understood they could sit on some routes that if he was going to beat him, he was going to beat him with short underneath throws, and even those weren't terribly accurate. So those windows got smaller and smaller for Material. And I think Texas defense got more and more aggressive as the game went on because they got more confident. that there was nothing Oklahoma could do really well against him. And I was surprised when Oklahoma try like a trick play, more trick plays and stuff like that later on too.
They tried. It looked like a double pass at one point.
It did, right.
It just didn't get. I got to say this. Ryan Niblett also with a huge play in the return game. Now this comes after he let one bounce and go 30 yards. So it is feast or famine. But I tell you what, when you feast like that, we'll eat all day.
He just needs to build confidence and catch the football. Just build confidence and catch the football. Yeah, I mean, that was a great return. And I said this on the Watch With Us, and I want to reiterate this for Ryan Niblett because, look, I'm hard on him because I think he's got to field the football in the punt return game. But here's what I want to say a credit to Ryan Niblett as a human. The easiest thing to do would have been to jump in the portal.
Yep.
And it's nice to see some kids go against the jump in the portal. It's got to be the grass has got to be greener and stick it out and have good things happen for him. The easiest thing for him to do would have been to transfer after last year and go to U of H and go catch 40 balls for 500 yards and be a punt returner. That's the easiest thing. That would have been the easiest thing for Ryan Niblett to do. But he didn't do it, and it's really good to see good things happen for guys that truly invest and work through the adversity to give themselves an opportunity on the field. Oh, by the way, Indiana just beat Oregon at Oregon.
Ooh.
Wow.
Penn State lost to Northwestern too, Jerry. I mean, what is going on in that league up there?
Well, Penn State's going to have a new coach. That's a coaching search. It's going to be crazy coaching carousel now.
Yeah, it absolutely should. Hey, I want to make sure that we do some work here and talk a little bit more about the stats of this game as people are just joining us. We've had, look, we're right at 1,000 or 2,000 almost, 1,500 people in this chat right now. And I think this is important. Let's just take a look at total yards, 300 yards plus yards for the Longhorns, 250 roughly for the Sooners. Pass yards, 186 or 166, for Arch Manning. 136 yards on the ground. I think that was a big piece of this game, Rod and Jerry, no doubt about it. First downs, 15 for the Longhorns. OU had 16, but like Rod said, they were moving it between the 20s, but not much else. But they only had 3 total plays in the third period. That was a huge swing in the game, no doubt about it. Texas on third downs, 10 of 17 to close the game. That is unbelievable. Meanwhile, holding OU to 6 of 17. Sacks, Texas with 4. It looks like OU with 3. Is that correct? Am I reading that right?
Yeah.
Texas didn't even allow OU in the red zone today.
Right.
Did y'all realize that?
Yep.
I did not know that. Time of possession was huge in favor of Texas in the second half. The Longhorns literally owned the third quarter. The Sooners only had 4 total plays in the third quarter. Longhorns did not turn the ball over. I want to add, all those stats are great. I want to say something real quick. 2 things that we talked about this team when they needed to grow up, or a couple things. Arch Manning needed to play better.
Yes.
The offensive line needed to protect better.
Yes.
They needed to run the ball better. And then this, execution, penalties, and taking advantage of opportunities. Today, Texas finished with four penalties. Did they have a penalty I think they had 1 penalty.
3 of those were in the first 2 drives. 3
I know.
of those drives.
One penalty in the entire second half, and it was Jelani McDonald, I believe, on the punt return. And then execution, third down, to your point, Jerry, early. Texas did all of those things, guys. That's what we've been calling for. This looked like a team, to Jerry and Rod's point earlier, that if they can get it going and get better and better and better, we saw some things for them, this offense with Trey Wisner, with Arch Manning, that I think can take them a little bit further than maybe what we were thinking about going into this game. I really do. Rod, what did you think of that third quarter? When you've been in this game, you know what it's like to get was it a pick before half, a big momentum switch change in your opinion, and then Texas really just got it going? It's like Arch Manning came out he just started playing really good football in that second half.
Yeah, no, it really was unbelievable. And you're right, that was a big play right before the half to keep I don't know what Brent Venables was thinking. I mean, they're like way too much. It was bad game management, bad time management, clock management by them. And then, of course, Mateer throwing the pick. But yeah, Texas came out, and it really was, I think it was a combination of Arch keeping plays alive. He did a really good job in the scramble drill and evading pressure and avoiding sacks and to be able to keep plays alive and just keep you out of negative plays. Sometimes they didn't get, it wasn't necessarily a big gain. And Trey Weiser did it too. Jerry, we remarked about this on the in-game live watch that, sometimes it was just a 2-yard gain, but they kept it from being a negative play, right? Keep yourself ahead of the chains, keep yourself ahead of the sticks, and get to third and manageable. Get to third, and that's what they did. They stayed out of those third and really longs, third and forevers, and they got to third and manageable, and that's really when they started having success converting those third down. There was a couple of third and longs too, where they actually Arch kept the play alive, scramble drill, I think a 3rd and 9 or something like that to a DeAndre Moore that was really impressive on the scramble drill. So they did those things too. But I think overall, because they weren't their own worst enemy by having penalties and putting themselves behind the chains that way, they avoided the negative plays as well. And that's a challenge because this is one of the more penalized teams in the country. This is also a team that, was going up against Oklahoma that was probably the best team defense in the country at forcing negative plays, and yet you were able to neutralize that in the second half and take advantage and wear them out. You basically wore that defense down in the second half, and I hadn't seen that from that Oklahoma defense all season. Nobody had worn them down like that.
No, and by the way, on Oklahoma, they have their Achilles heel showed up today as the meat of their schedule's about to hit. They couldn't run the football at all in between the tackles. And if you can't, and this was a neutral site game, if you can't, especially it's like last week we talked about, the week after Florida physically ran the ball against Texas, and they don't have Jaden Ball, I get it, Oklahoma, but it's more than that. Oklahoma's offensive line has more issues than Texas' offensive line. And now they've got to play the rest of this schedule. Go look at the rest of their schedule without being able to run the football between the tackles. Brent Venables is in danger again. This could go bad for them because playing Mateer this week, he is not going to be healthy all season.
Nope, I agree with you, and I do think that he's going to be in trouble. We'll see, because you can't be that inept on offense, even with a one-handed quarterback. Maybe we'll see how it goes from here. I do want to say this before we get to some comments, because I do want to get this super chats as quickly as possible, because I know you guys want to talk about it. We love it. One of the things I love about this channel is you guys get a voice too.
Yes.
So we love to hear from the fans. We saw so many out there at the state fair. Rod, I wish you would have been there with us, dude. It was just a lot of fun being out there. And now it's even more fun. The final score is 23-6. I gotta be honest. But before we do that, one thing we talked about yesterday afternoon, X factor for Texas. Was it Trey Weiser? Yes,
he had to be the MVP because that means Texas won the rushing game against Oklahoma team that didn't run it well.
Yeah. You think that too, Rob?
I think it's Trey Weiser. He was a spark. It was obvious. He had, between him and Arch, but he gave you, I think, a little bit more than Arch. But I love what Arch did too. It's him and then Arch for me.
Well, because he has a part with Wisner. He gets a partner in crime, Rod. That's what I've been talking about. Every quarterback needs a partner in crime.
Well, here's the thing. Trey Weiser had 22 carries for 94 yards. The only way that happens is if you're playing in 3rd and shorts. Yes. That means you're not behind the chains, else he gets 12 carries for 40 yards in this game because you can't run the football. So Trey Wisner, the more times, if you see 22 for 85, 20 for 90, Texas is in 3rd and short, 3rd and medium. And if you get the 3rd and shorts and 3rd and mediums, then you don't put all this pressure on your offensive line. That's the one thing about where Texas was at offensively until today. All the pressure. Now, the offensive line did it to themselves, but they put all the pressure on themselves, not being able to run the football effectively and pre-snap penalties. The only way you're going to take pressure off this offensive line is if you look up at the end of the games and Trey Weiser, the Texas running backs, next week, because Weiser's banged up, next week maybe it's Simon. I don't know. But those guys need to have 20 for 75, 20 for 80, because that means you're going to be in 3rd and medium and 3rd and shorts, and then you have a chance.
Yeah. Good game for the Texas Longhorns. Any way you shake it, whether it's the play of the offensive line, the addition of Trey Wisner, Arch Manning, I thought Ryan Wingo had a nice game, led the team in receptions, kind of sneakily. Parker Livingstone made his hay on 2 big catches, I thought, as well. Jordan, I mean, just you name it. DeAndre Moore with the catch at the back of the end zone on a kind of wobbly ball from Arch that was not an easy catch whenever you're talking about the moment that is in and the kind of ball it was. But all in all, big win for the Longhorns, 23-6. Now they're 4-2 and heading to Lexington next week. We will be up there as well, or at least I will be. Let's get to some super chats, Matt, our producer. If you don't mind getting to some of these, we're going to start talking a little ball with everybody and giving you our thoughts on this game. What is OU's excuse going to be now after Mateer played? Good question in some ways, KD 35, but I will say this. They may not have any because that defense, the OU defense they got their butt whipped in the third quarter.
They did.
I mean, point blank. Texas had 25 plays to 4. It wasn't a single play. It was not just the fact that OU's offense was lethargic or inept almost in the second half. It was their defense gave up some. So,
and what we talked about it all week with Texas last week, and we said if the offense keeps putting pressure on the defense cannot hold up forever. If Oklahoma does not run the football any better the rest of the season, their defense it can't just hold up forever because they're going to be playing really good teams the rest of the season. They're going to be playing against some offensive talent. And if they can't find a way to run the football in between the tackles at all, moving forward, their defense is going to get tired. They're going to be on the field too much.
Great.
A&M just scored 7-7. These teams just went up and down the field on each other.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. First back-to-back Red River wins in a minute. That's interesting. Barry Trammell mentioned that on Wednesday. Humble hustle. Thank you for the super chat as well. Thank you to from John Rafferty. Says thank you OTF. Wow, Hero Canoe. We did not talk about the Texas tackles yet. Was this a breakout game for him, or did I just miss it in prior games? They've been very high on Hero Canoe. But while I also saw some Brad Spence today.
It was a breakout game for Brad Spence today.
But I will say this. The interior defensive line did more than they had been doing, I thought, in this game. Now, that may be the opponent because OU's young and they lost an offensive lineman early in that game, a left guard.
Yeah.
But I do think Hero Canoe looked really good. He looked like a 3-down player. And when OU went hurry up in that first drive, you remember, and caught Texas with 13 players on, they played more Hero Canoe because I think he's in better shape than some of the other guys too. So
he was there. He was there for spring. He was there.
Yep.
By the way, it's great to see Brad Spence. I think he's very important to this team as a pass rusher and just a playmaker. It's been interesting with Brad Spence this year. I thought we'd just see a lot more of him. I think people forget he was a quality player for Arkansas in the SEC last year. He had 54 tackles and 4.5 sacks. He had a big game against Texas. I hope we see a lot more Brad Spence moving forward because I think some guys are just playmakers, and he's one of them.
Somebody just corrected me. It was Derek Simmons, the right tackle, not the left guard. My apologies. Go ahead, Rod.
No, the Hero Canoe thing, they've loved him actually as an every down player because remember, he was the D tackle they were playing on the NASCAR package. So he was the third down D tackle that they would use on the NASCAR packages, and he was playing as much as any of your D tackles early on in the season through the first 3 games. So they've coming out of training camp, Hero Canoe's being one of their top guys. They've loved him.
Yep. Let's talk and go back to one thing real quick on the stat line with Arch Manning. I want to have y'all talk a little bit about him because I think as we go through some of these, we lose sight of the fact that Arch Manning had a really, really good game. 21 of 27, 166, 1 TD. Did y'all see him throw a ball that should have been picked today? I did not. Now, I maybe some ill-advised throws or tough throws, but I didn't see a ball that said, ooh, that was close to being picked. Yeah. Some that he should have thrown like that RPO in the red zone. Now, he held on to it, but I didn't see him put the ball in harm's way in 27 attempts. That's pretty darn strong playing an OU defense.
And that was that sack where they got on him where it could have been a strip sack because it was a nice sack from behind. And
Mason Thomas. Yep.
Yeah, was trying to get the ball out, and he didn't give up the football. He just went down with it. That was nice.
Yeah. No, it's a good point, Bobby. Look, I mean, his first Red River shootout, and he had no turnovers. I mean,
yep,
that's right where you want to be. He won the turnover battle against the quarterback, against John Mateer.
Yeah, and meanwhile, somebody said in the chat here, the chat's moving really fast, so I don't want to take credit for it. Said, how many pick passes could John Mateer have thrown today? More than 3. I have 3 were picked.
Johnny
McDonald dropped a pick 6.
Yeah, he dropped a pick 6. Yeah, probably another 2. Probably could have been 5, maybe. Something like that.
Yeah, that gives you a sense for it. Look, all in all, just a tremendous effort, I think, and a comeback effort for the Longhorns. Let's go to back to the chat line, if you don't mind, Matt, our producer, and we'll get this going here. I am emotional, dang, little teary-eyed, dang. Thank you, Florida.
Well, there's that.
Florida was a wake-up call. You can't just waltz into places with Texas on your chest.
No.
You have to come out and play, and Tony Hills has been barking it. Marcus Myers has been barking it all week.
Yeah.
You know what he had to say? They both said, you got to play this game with passion. Jerry, you talked about it too. Rod, what did you think of the passion that they came out with this? Because I didn't see it.
It was
really
a fight.
They
had the scrum though before the game. That's when I was like, okay, there we go. We got a little something. Then at least the guys understand the rules of engagement here.
Yes.
But I would say we underestimated it with Florida. And I said it after that. I said it in the post game after that game. That the embarrassment factor, the shame factor. What did you say that the guys that they circled the rag and they weren't eating with the other Texas athletes?
No.
Yeah.
By the way, I've been a part of teams like this right after embarrassing losses. They're embarrassing losses where you basically didn't show up. That shame that you feel, that really, I think, brings the camaraderie out in the team. The guys really pull together, and I think they started to unite as a team, and they focused that week. And I think just like Florida came out, and Florida played with a sense of urgency, and they played, with passion, and they played with their hair on fire. You got that out of Texas. Now, it actually came late too, which is crazy, because early on in that game, offensively, it looked like, oh man, we may get the same old Texas product here.
Hey, what do you think?
In the second quarter, it changed for them.
What do y'all think of this scroll that's at the bottom here that Matt put together for us? Oklahoma has not scored a touchdown against Texas as a member of the SEC.
That'll get you fired.
Jerry's a coach's son. He knows how it works.
Good. Bad quarterback luck too, man. Well, not bad. You got to make your own luck, but they've had injuries at quarterback right around that time.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, let's go to the next super chat if we can. Guys, keep going here. The OU football, this from Rapid Calm. The OU football program should never be able to live down the fact that they went 2 straight Red Rivers without scoring a touchdown. Thank you very much, Rapid Calm. That's exactly what happened. The biggest flop in college football history had a 3-score victory over country's number 2 ranked scoring defense. That, of course, is that's another thing that Matt put up there. That is a comment. Obviously, who was that? Will Leach,
the athletic,
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
There you go, Will Leach.
A little premature.
He looked really hard, really bad. William Nish, boom, back to back. OU got out coached and outplayed. Weiser MVP. OU sucks. I thought that OU out-coached Texas early. I really did. And then in the second quarter, you could feel Texas kind of getting its bearings a little bit. And then that one drive that only ended in a field goal, you thought Texas started finding something, and Arch kind of getting his legs in that category. What are y'all's thoughts about OU and the coaching versus Texas? And I thought they were clearly outplayed, but OU coaches versus Texas coaches in this game.
I mean, my biggest thing with Oklahoma in this game is they put their season in jeopardy playing Mateer. And he obviously, that thumb got opened up in this game. And I'm very interested to see where he's at the rest of the season. They put it all on the line to win this game, which told you Venables still knew he was coaching. He still knows he's coaching for his job. But I think the biggest thing for me is whatever this staff did. I think Sark called it a gut check after the game, and I think it was a gut check for the staff and the team, because that's a bad feeling when you leave a field and get on a plane and feel like you got physically whipped.
Yeah,
in a game that you have to show up for.
Hey, talk about physically whipped. Nick Brooks has a little juice to him, fellas. Yes. I don't know if you saw him. He got a little dance when he gets a good block. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to be losing that left guard spot anytime soon. So we'll see. I do think that Texas outcoached OU, particularly. Yep. I got to say this: the third quarter, man, that was special. I mean, it just was. They dominated Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you want. I mean, can you design it any better than what happened in that third quarter? I don't think you can. Maybe if Jelani McDonald would have got a pick on one of those plays, that would have helped. But seriously, it was just one of those things. All right, next super chat, if you don't mind. D Money can't get money. Playing Chief Keith Laughlin to the bank, smoking that pack. I don't know what even that means. Anybody know what that means? I don't even know what that means.
I believe he might be a rapper, but
okay. Y'all are Rod. I don't know that kind of stuff. All right, Bobby, Jerry, we did it. This is from Brandon Huey. Good to see you today, Brandon. These boys fought today. Great seeing you two. Brian Niblett goes down in Longhorn lore. Ask the New York Times what they think now. Biggest flop in college football history. Hey, look. Texas will not be ranked ahead of Oklahoma on Monday, most likely, because people won't have seen this game. Not enough will have seen the game to rank them. Like they're too busy playing. But Texas is clearly a better football team than Oklahoma. I think they're more talented football team than Oklahoma, especially with Trey Wisner back.
By the way, Texas has a better offensive line than Oklahoma. That's scary to say for Oklahoma fans because Texas still has a ways to go.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
Yeah, it's not good enough though. Texas was better than Florida too and had more talent, but if you don't come ready to play, you get your butt whipped. So that was the lesson. We've seen them now against 3 Power 4 opponents, and the lines of scrimmage have come to play in 2 of the 3. Right? Ohio State, your lines of scrimmage came to play. That was a tight game and could have went either way late. And in the Florida game, you didn't come to play. This game, lines of scrimmage come to play. I think that's kind of the difference in this group. So to me, the Florida game now is proven to be more the outlier. That's not who they are.
As long as Texas builds, as long as they don't
get better.
Got to build.
Yeah. I felt being able to run the ball took just enough pressure off of Arch.
100%.
Just enough.
Arch has played in third and long all season.
Yeah. He's improving though too, guys.
He's getting better.
He's totally great. Jonah Williams enthusiast. What do y'all think of this? Favorite win since we went into Bryant-Denny? I got to be honest. I loved beating A&M last year. That
was good.
But a non-home game favorite win since Bryant-Denny? Maybe. What do you think?
It's definitely satisfying.
Yeah.
the satisfaction of it. Just because you're coming off the Florida game, and I think what Jerry brought up was that Florida game put this Oklahoma game in a totally different context.
Yep.
Right? It basically almost made it feel like a must-win game. Like even Coach Shipley said, he was like, "No, you should leave. There should be nothing left right after this game. You should put everything on the table. You got to go all out." And it feels like they found something because it's almost. I actually like now they didn't have a good start, and they've had to battle even more adversity. Right? And not only the adversity from last week, battled even more adversity in this game, and we've seen them overcome it in all 3 phases. By the way, they weren't perfect. And yet found a way late to overcome and make the adjustments. That was growth in this game, man, no doubt. Not just from Arch. We saw it in all 3 phases. They won all 3 phases.
They really did. I agree with you. Couldn't agree with you more. Look, I think that one thing I want to say is this, and I want to put this up here real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Jackson makes a great point, and I think this is really clear. Put the anointing away. I don't think that's what any of us are doing yet. But I think you have to be excited about the fact of what we saw transpire on the field today. A Texas team that didn't come out and execute on offense easily could have lost this game. A Texas team that didn't come out and make turnovers or create turnovers on defense could have easily lost this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this: I'm not trying to anoint Texas as they're going to go 10-2 now. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I do think we saw a turning point. Arch Manning now knows what he needs to do to win big games in the SEC. When your quarterback learns that, in my opinion, things can change for you as a team. He had not done that yet. He just won a big game.
And by the way, I know Kentucky's not a good team this year. They're not as talented as they used to be under Mark Stoops. But you have 2 road games coming up in a row. And then you have a road game November 15th at Georgia. And the biggest takeaway for this team for me, outside of answering the bell physically after not answering it the week before, which I'll never pick a team that didn't play physical the week after that. They have to prove it to me. By the way, I'll be wrong again. I don't care. I'm not picking the team that doesn't show up physically in the SEC. They have to live in third and mediums the rest of this season. They have to grow from this and live in third and mediums. Because if Mississippi State, I don't know what Kentucky's got next week for Texas, truly, but at Mississippi State, they believe they can win. They have enough talent. You have to live in third and short and third and mediums. That should be the biggest takeaway for Arch, offensive line, this team, and their growth, is if they will stop the self-inflicted and give themselves a chance, then the talent can take over. But if they don't give themselves the chance, it doesn't matter how talented you are. Talent doesn't win on third and 11.
We agree, Jerry, but I think the thing that I was saying, and this is what I like, Rod, your input on, didn't we just see the blueprint, though? We're not anointing anybody here.
No.
We just saw the blueprint, though, of how this Texas team can win some games, some tough games, in my opinion, in the SEC. Yep. Rod, you agree with that?
Oh yeah, because it's not going to be pretty either. Like that's
yeah.
It's not going to be pretty. You got to win ugly, and part of that is, like Jerry said, can you get that 3-4 yards on first down, and then get yourself in a second and medium, and then get yourself into a third and short. And then when you're on third and long, your quarterback's got to put the cape on and make a play. Make a play for you. Keep the drive alive, scramble drill, and that's what happened. That's what we saw from Arch today. Like Arch. You know, they didn't ask Arch to carry the offense because Trey Wisner did a great job shouldering the load. But when you needed a play, when you needed a big third down, I believe that touchdown pass to DeAndre Moore was on a 3rd and 8. When you needed a play, Arch was able to provide it on that play, whatever situation you were in. And that's the winning football. He's playing winning football now. Now, is he playing number 1 overall pig football and Heisman Trophy winning football? Nobody care about all that because we already know that was we all know we drank the Kool-Aid on that. And we're done with it. Now we're playing real football. This is actually the meat of the season. But he's now learned how to play winning. He was doing it against Florida. He didn't have anybody else to support him and help him. But him playing winning football like he has done the last 2 weeks, and now having a supporting cast also in all 3 phases of playing winning football, that's the recipe, like Bobby said. Now you can go win some games in the SEC. It ain't going to be pretty, by the way. I ain't saying he's going to go out there and look like a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, but winning football, making better decisions, not turning the football over, staying out of the negative plays, no penalties so you don't put yourself behind the chains. That's winning football. That's what they're doing right now. You can do that. We can work with that.
I agree. I mean, that's my whole point. We have a blueprint now. It's time to – what is this? Wait, what is this?
Uh-oh.
Report. Who is this account pretending to be? This is an Instagram post, I guess. A good football team. Woo! Somebody making fun of the Sooners on Instagram, guys. Be careful out there. We could have had that one. I believe OU leaving Mateer in was a mistake. Probably some possibility there. Let's get back to a couple more chats here. William Nish, give Flood and the O-line some love. Everyone talked about the OU defense. OU sucks, according to William Nish. Yes, give the O-line some love, not just for run blocking, pass blocking too.
Yeah.
I thought Arch Manning was going to get beat up in this game, so much so that I thought, hey, it's possible we see Matt Caldwell. I really did believe that. I mean, I told some people in the pregame. I mean, look, I think Tech's just not going to be able to improve that much. Sark went a lot of 12 personnel, did a lot of different things to help.
Screen game early, a lot of screens.
Yep. Did a lot of things to help his coach.
Looked a lot more like last year's offense.
Yeah, it did look a little, but not a lot of quick plays to the perimeter. Joel Hyman, seems like when Manning scrambles to his right, he throws dimes, and when he scrambles to his left, it's not as sharp. Yet seems like he disproportionately scrambles left. Why? Because the D schemes for this. I will say this, Joel. He made another play on it going to his left, where he feathered the ball to DeAndre Moore for a key third down pickup.
Yeah,
his arm is not as strong. I think that's fair. But I tell you what, he's playing pretty good when he goes to his left too. Rod, obviously you guys work on that some if you think, hey, we need to play it into this, but the scramble drill is working for Texas right now, in my opinion.
I think it might be one of Texas' best plays and most successful plays, period, is the scramble and the scramble drill. Going into this game, Arch versus, and I just did power 4 opponents versus power 4 opponents going into this game, he's averaging over 8 yards per scramble. I think on the season, it's like over 9 yards per scramble. And I went and looked at scramble drills. I didn't even count the ones in this game, but he did have like a 14-yarder, 24-yarder completion in scramble drill. I got him over 11 yards per attempt in scramble drill. So I think, honestly, it's their secret weapon. He's really good at it. And there's no way to prepare for it because you have no idea how the receivers are going to adjust on the scramble drill. And if receivers get better, Texas should try to practice and perfect the scramble drill. I've said that several times this week because Arch is good at it. He's good at it.
He's been really good last couple weeks at it.
Hey, by the way, on Arch, we talked about this coming out of high school. He didn't play on a really good high school team. He played under duress every year in high school. No different. Same high school level of competition Peyton and Eli played against. Same damn school. Those guys all played under duress in high school. They didn't sit in the shotgun and throw the first read 99% of the time with perfect teams. That helps guys. When you play under duress in high school, that helps you in college. It just truly does. And so Arch gets a lot of crap unjustly because, he didn't play, and he played small school ball. He didn't play against good competition. He didn't play on a great, very talented team. So he was playing on the move a lot because it was forced duress.
Mm-hmm. To y'all's point, whether he's injured or not with Mateer, who was the better quarterback today?
Arch. No question. Arch was the better.
Weren't people talking about John Mateer's Heisman Trophy leading guy before he got injured?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying Hart needs to be the Heisman Trophy candidate, all this other stuff. What I am saying, Texas got a really good performance out of its quarterback. Did not put the ball in harm's way, evaded pressure, converted third downs. He looked at, and I'll tell you what, in the fourth quarter, he looked in control of the offense.
Yes.
He had a presence about him in that fourth quarter. He knew exactly what he was trying to do. I mean, even when he slid down on that zone read.
Oh yeah, it was the fourth down,
third down zone read where he kept it way around the end, and
and it slid.
And he slid. Mm-hmm. Even he knew he got up. He had his faculties about him today, and I think that really showed. All right, a couple more here coming in. Dante Payne, that's the defense I know. That's the Arch I know. Agreed. The defense played really well. Daryl Redeker, Mateer looked like he had no clue what he walked into in the Cotton Bowl. Hook him forever. He did. I don't want to say he looked shell-shocked, but that was his first big moment on the road at OU, was it not?
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm trying to tell you that's a big deal. Dad Tired says, put in a super chat. Thank you so much. We'll see if you had a comment. We'll add that. Busy times, Ryan Niblett. Very happy for you, my man. That was a good. They missed a block in the back by Colton Vosick. I got to be honest.
The big time block. Yeah.
On that.
I would say Sark tries to reward Niblett too for all the things Jerry mentioned earlier about his kind of dedication and commitment, and him as contribution on special teams, because he puts that Niblett package in and he's gonna give it to Niblett. Like, it's basically him and a way for them to try to weaponize him. So it's one of Sark's favorite players, I think, too, on the team.
All right, keep going here. Thanks, Busy Times, for that. Jared Lancey, right? Jerry predicted it. Littleton with a huge play. Bobby still batting 1,000. Or is that 100?
1,000.
This was a culture test, and the guys brought the violence for 66 straight minutes. Proud of them. Look, Littleton did have a big play. Manny Muhammad with 2 picks. There were a number of big plays that I thought they missed maybe early. McDonald's interception would be, and that wasn't early. I had them written down here.
Mm-hmm.
Field goal off the upright.
Yep.
I mean, how close can you be on that? Trey Wisner, he broke that one, but he did, and he had the DBs by 5 yards, but they caught him.
Yeah,
we need to check on Trey Wisner's speed long term. But I'm, to your point, Lane Seawright, I'm proud of him too. Rod, you played on this team. You proud of the guys today?
Yeah, I mean, it was like I said, it wasn't a perfect game, and they still haven't played kind of four quarters to me yet either. But the fact that they battled adversity, and I believe it brought them closer together as a team. That was some really good complementary team football we saw in the second half. It really was. Like, they played as a unit. Offensive line came together and started to move other human beings against their will. Trey Wisner was a spark. And then you saw Arch, like you said, he had command of the offense. He had confidence. It was clear he carried himself a lot differently. And in that type of environment, to have that type of maturity, like I said, we just saw growth. And if they build on it, they're going to be fine. What we can't have is regression. And I think that's what the Florida game represented, was the regression. And now we know, that could happen at any time when you're not focused, or you're distracted, or you're not ready to play. And that was the lesson. Hopefully this team learned that lesson, that at least you don't get another no-show. If you don't get a no-show, you'll be in every game, and you'll be in every game in the fourth quarter and have a chance to win every game in the fourth quarter. That's what this season should be about for this particular team.
Who's bringing some passion, I think, to this team in a weird way, is Lance Jackson. He's got a little, like you said, Brooks has a little something to him. Lance Jackson's got a little something to him too.
Interesting.
He's got a competitive spirit about him. And by the way, some people have said, what would this do for recruiting? Well, look, these games are always great when you win for recruiting, right? I mean, even when Texas lost that year to Dylan Gabriel, they put on a show in that game despite it. But, Derek Cooper, Diabell, all those guys that were at this game today, the young kids that were at this game today, you know what they saw? They saw Texas win, but they saw Lance Jackson. They saw Grayson Littleton.
Yeah.
They saw James Simon.
I mean,
Nick Brooks.
Yep.
They saw, if you come in and handle your business, you will have a chance to play. But I think Lance Jackson's bringing a little something with that energy to this team. He has a physicality plus energy. I like what I'm seeing out of Lance Jackson aside from his talent. He plays mad, Duke Carroll said. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, Tucker Foster, look at this one. Only a $9.99 super chat, but that's more than the 9 points OU has scored the last 2 years.
Boom! Wow.
I love it. Good stuff. Cisco Diaz, coffee on me, Bobby. Thank you very much, Cisco. Always appreciate your participation in the chat. This one from Robbie Reiner. Shout out to Bobby. Only one to call the Ohio State loss and one of the few to call this win. Really fun to see Arch with such a smile on his face. It is rewarding to watch these guys who, I tell you, I've been in the, and y'all know that I've been in the media business for 30 years. 30 years. It's been what I've done for my livelihood. And Rod, you and Jerry have done the same thing. It's very rare that I take offense to something that somebody writes. Yeah. Like once every 10 years, maybe once every 5 years. The hit piece by The Athletic, that was a bridge too far. The worst college, as Matt's got the scroll going here, the biggest flop in college football history just beat OU's butt. All right. Thanks, Robbie. Manuel B. Huge win. Rod needs to get on his helmet for this one. Jerry's looking for a lampshade. On all sides. Let's not forget about Manny Muhammad. He makes a huge difference between being there. Wisner is a man. Let's celebrate tonight. absolutely. I'm going to have a Yingling or so. I'll just put it that way. I need to mention this while we're talking, but this is awesome. If you guys are just now joining us and haven't seen us before, Super Chats is $90 and more. Rod goes nuts and gets his old Longhorn helmet on and takes a couple of questions.
I got some.
Yours to go now. Everybody's in a good mood now. Man, we were all worried early in this process, but now I guess we can talk about it and get excited. Thank you so much.
I don't have a lampshade, but I still have some of this oatmeal cream pie from Tony Hill's earlier today. So oatmeal cream pie for the $100 Super Bowl.
I'm gonna have a nice cold one later, and it's gonna be Flight. Flight. Let me do a quick ad read for our friends over there. Flight is the next generation of light beer with only 95 calories. It's an easy to drink upscale light beer designed to elevate your taste buds with just 2.6 carbs per serving. Flight is an easy-to-drink light beer with clean, crisp taste. Try Flight from Yingling. Thanks to the fine folks at Flight and our friends over at Faust Distributing. We really appreciate them. Third year sponsoring on Texas football's postgame show. We really, really appreciate all that they've done for us. Travis Goodell, we saw Travis the other day. What a game. Love you guys. Saw y'all at the A&M game. Jerry is the man. Jerry, you did call this third down precision by the Longhorns. Were you thinking that Texas would actually be able to do that and predicting it some way, or were you just like, they just got to do this?
No, look, I picked Oklahoma to win the game. And again, I'll say this again, if Texas, any team, if they come out soft, I'm not going to pick them to win the next game if they're playing against a good team. They have to go prove it to me. I'll do that again, and y'all can give me hell again. I don't care. When you look at the game, when you thought about the game, it was almost a microcosm of Florida in a way. Because Florida had been on the road, and they had played a tough game at LSU, tough game at Miami. And they were dreadful on third downs. But we all know they're a more talented team than what they'd shown. And so when you thought about the game, I just said, okay, what does Texas have to do? Not what they predict they do. They have to do. They had to get in third and shorts and third and mediums. But if you're third and long against Oklahoma, they're going to sack you. And you have to get the third and short and third and medium. So I just say if Texas could replicate what Florida did to Texas last week, then your odds go way up of winning the game. And I didn't predict it. I just said that's what Texas has to do to win this game after being physical this week because they weren't last week. And the only way they're doing that is if we said yesterday we picked who would be a player of the game. We all said hey, it needs to be Trey Wisner because that means Texas ran the ball well. And that means they were in third and shorts. And again, I think that's the key for this team. It's not going to be a high-scoring offense. So what do they have to do? They have to get in as many third and short and mediums as they can the rest of the season. And if they do that, they're going to have a chance to win 9 or 10 games. But if they live in third and long, it's not the formula for this team.
All right, Thomas Terrell, thank you for your super chat. If you have a question, please add that in. John W. Bobby called it. The Horns were the more physical team and better on third down at Jerry's request. It's 6-10 and OU sucks. I don't care what time it is. That's still going to always be the case. But look, Longhorns definitely took it to OU today. After that interception, last play of the first half, through the midway through the fourth quarter, Texas just beat the you-know-what out of OU.
They did.
Yeah. I mean, they took their will. They took their will. And I will add this. OU was not a team that wants to play from behind with that offense because it's not a big play offense. They're the guys that try to move the chains and try to hit the seams. It's just they're going to have some problems later in this year because of that. Thank you, though, for this super chat, John. We appreciate it very much. Arch on third down and Trey Wisner, guts and grit was all the defense needed to finish out a phenomenal performance. Gold hat performance for the D. Rod, speaking of the defensive performance, it wasn't. It was very bend but don't break, very PK stylish at times today.
It was.
Somebody in the watch with us called him PK. Now stands for prevent Kwiatkowski. I thought that's PK. But
I like that.
That seemed to work.
Well, I don't think he had to take any chances. I think honestly, as the game obviously started to go on, and more, it was revealed that Mateer couldn't throw the ball accurately downfield. Why would you take a chance and risk a blitz for him to complete it downfield against a man-to-man coverage? Or why would you risk getting into something really exotic and guys are out of position? You can pretty much play it straight up, seeing that they couldn't run the ball effectively. So you probably could actually use light boxes and still be able to stop their run game. And John Mateer, even if you did decide to roll extra guy down into the box, he couldn't take advantage of man-to-man coverage or single coverage. So I think what they did that was more aggressive, the DB started to sit on routes, and they started to be more aggressive. Go watch the DBs. Remember y'all were complaining about how far off the DBs were? Go watch them. Even if they were far off, they started to sit on routes. They were not that one early on with Jalen Gilbo. Remember that one deep crossing route they completed like on second down, I believe.
Yeah.
He was rolling out to his right, and he's wide open. I think blitzed Taft on that play, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they did.
Back from the backside.
Yeah.
Yes, and he's a wide open. Go watch Gilbo. He didn't plaster. And it's like everybody else plastered on their play. It was way off and didn't plaster. They stopped giving up those kind of completions. Like, no, let's not give it to him. Let's not give him a wide open window. Let's make the window small. All right, and let's try to put as much pressure as we can on him organically. I think they did a good job of it, and there was no reason for him to get exotic. And maybe they don't need to get exotic at all this year because they really haven't done that much of it. But there was no reason for it in this game at all. John Mateer just didn't present that kind of challenge.
All right, real quick, I want to beat this one up. Jerry and Rod, this from Thomas Terrell. Jerry and Rod, eat your crow.
I already did.
Eat your crow.
I already did.
Oh, no.
No, time out. Listen to me, and I'm going to change the question. Okay, what did you miss in evaluating this game in retrospect?
Oh,
like,
no, I already said
2020. What did you miss? Why did you think that Texas wouldn't do it? Jerry, yours was physicality, correct?
No, I already said it. If in 2 weeks, Texas goes to Mississippi State and lays a physical egg again, I will pick them to lose to Vanderbilt. If a team that cannot match physicality, I'm not picking you to win until you match physicality. I don't give a shit if I'm wrong.
Jerry's not eating any crow.
Oatmeal
pies.
All I'm saying is I'll do it again. I don't care. This is a physical sport. If you can't match physicality, I'm not picking you. Go match the physicality and I'll pick you. If not, I'll pick you to lose again. I don't care about my record. I care about how you play. It ain't about my record. I don't give a crap. It's how you play.
All right.
I don't have a win and loss. I don't care.
Hey, Jerry, you're missing the question here, bud. You're missing the question. The question is, what did you miss in the evaluation? Because even giving the physicality, Jerry, it's not. But it wasn't just physicality. They actually beat OU.
I think we did the same thing that we did in the Texas-Florida game, where we miscalculated the sense of urgency for Florida on the Florida side. When they had, been embarrassed on national TV and everybody's talking about Lagway and Billy Napier's job. And what was everybody talking about after the Florida game? Might be the worst loss we've seen from Sark. The article comes out from The Athletic about the biggest flop in college football history. And I think, honestly, you got that team focused again. They had a sense of urgency about them. And I think, honestly, you got the kind of the best version of it. You got a Texas team that came out with a ton of fight in that game. So I think that's what I miscalculated most, was that the bounce back factor for Texas. And just like the bounce back factor for Florida, and I don't know I'm not even watching the Texas A&M game, so I don't know.
So here's what you're saying, and I think this is great. It dovetails to what Jerry was saying. They showed a spine, Rod.
Yes,
they bounced back.
That's good. That's fine.
That's it. Period.
All right. 57 Cal should have put Michael Hawkins in. Mateer is overrated. There was a time there where I was like, boy, I wouldn't want to see Michael Hawkins, because they ran a couple of plays, guys, where Mateer had some real yardage and he only got like 5 yards.
Yeah.
I would have hated to see Michael Hawkins with that much open space and that much speed, because he could have pressed it a little bit. But look, I don't think Michael Hawkins played very well against Kent State, apparently. So I'm not so sure that they would have been happy with that one. Chris McCluskey. I know we didn't all pick Texas today, but I respect you guys for keeping it real versus being homers no matter what. It's what this show makes it worth watching. had to prove themselves today, and they did. Chris, great point. LFG from Chris.
Well
I think everybody agrees with that. Everybody agrees. Longhorns, Bobby nailed the preseason prognosis. Arch looks better each week. Hopefully, springboard for continued OL development. Just get a little bit better. Let's talk about the OL development. All right. Somebody asked also in the chat what the starting group is. It's Gooseby going left to right. Gooseby, Nick Brooks was inserted and did not get subbed out for all game. Cole Hudson, center, right guard. DJ Campbell, right tackle. Brandon Baker. No holds, no penalties on Brandon Baker today. First game since he's been a starter, by the way. Do you think this this offensive line, if they have Trey Wisner, can create itself an identity? And they clearly played better today than they played last week or any other time this whole season, in my opinion.
Yeah, look, and this is not to take away from Trey Wisner because he's the player of the game. But whoever the running back is in this game, whoever the quarterback is, whoever the receivers are for Texas, the self-inflicted are what got them beat as much as poor execution.
Yep. I agree with that.
They weren't giving themselves a chance.
Mm-hmm. And they didn't in the first quarter either.
They were putting themselves in the worst positions they possibly could because then the defense knows what's coming. And so for me, it's just discipline. Discipline before execution. If you don't have discipline, it doesn't matter. If your average down the distance is 3rd and 11, like Florida, good luck against anybody good. It's not happening. So my thing with them is if they just keep giving themselves a chance and they quit putting immense pressure on themselves on 3rd down, this team is not these guys. It's not like they're not talented players. These were all nationally recruited players. I mean, these kids could have gone anywhere in the country almost. So it's not that they're void of talent. They were void of discipline.
Mm-hmm. All right. I agree with that. I think it can be a springboard for the offensive line. Yeah. And it should be. And not only from a run perspective, but look, the whole run game idea, it didn't allow OU to pin their ears back.
Yeah.
I mean, that slowed down R. Mason Thomas. And by the way, you want to know what Texas did to negate R. Mason Thomas? They ran at him.
Yeah.
You want to slow down an edge rusher? Run at him.
What did Ohio State do to Colin Simmons?
Yep. That's exactly
ran at him.
Yeah. Good point. Justin Yarbrough, super proud of this team. Really hope we can build off this. The team had fun today. It did look like they were having fun, did it not? That's what the most I was excited about. LFG, but getting ready to go for Kentucky. Rod, you said you agreed with them having fun. Was it Nick Brooks doing his little twirl when they got a good run? Was it? I mean, what was it that made you think that?
I don't know. You've seen it. You can watch guys individually, whether it was guys hyping up each other, celebrating, having their own little celebration dances, but you can tell guys were into it emotionally. You got to play the game with passion. We talked about that after the Florida game. It seemed like the guys were lacking enough passion, intensity. They definitely had that in this game. Even when they weren't necessarily focused or executing, it seemed like they were playing with passion and intensity.
Yeah.
Had to have it.
All right, here we go. Thomas Terrell still wants you guys to eat crow.
Yeah. Hey, I ate my crow. That's
I know. I ate my crow. I'm just telling you, I'll do it again if I see a lack of physicality. I don't care. I'll eat the crow, but you better be physical. I don't care.
I'm fine eating it. I put some hot sauce
in it. I love it. Rocky P, this was the first game I can remember that all three phases excelled. Rod, I just saw what you did. You put the little hands up like, yeah, you're right. The O-line grew up. The defense found an attitude, and PK broke a little tendency and went blitz heavy at times. Rod and Jerry, we need a public apology for doubting OU. I'm not even going to read that part. Y'all don't need to publicly apologize. We already talked about that enough. The point is, Rod, all three phases, Texas won this football game. You agree with that?
Oh, totally agree. But it's to the point that Rocky made. It is the first time, right? So
yeah,
picking Oklahoma in this game was I hadn't seen that from Texas. I see a lot of things that I just hadn't seen from Texas.
I agree.
The third down success, we had seen that from Texas. They were like one of the worst third down teams in the country. And you do that against the best third down defense. I know a lot of you probably thought Jerry said they had to do that. I don't know anybody who actually predicted that.
No,
I don't know anybody.
That's what they had to do. That's what they had to do.
Yeah. right?
Yeah.
And in terms of looking at the run game, Texas hadn't had, a great run game consistently this year. They had some O-line issues. I didn't think the offensive line would gel in this game versus arguably one of the best, if not the best, defensive line in the country. And they did put together, well, how many double-digit drives? Three double-digit play drives in this game, something like that.
Matt would have to look that up for us.
I had to go look it up, but it was multiple double-digit play drives. I know that at the end of the half they had one, and they had one like right after the half. They had another one. I did not. We hadn't really.
I think the first two drives in the second half were both 10+
double-digit play drives, right? Man, we hadn't seen Texas do that again. Yeah, they didn't do that against Ohio State.
3 consecutive drives, 10+ plays.
How? Wow. Take out San Jose State. Take out UTEP. Take out Sam Houston State. I'm talking about against teams with light talent. Ohio State, Florida. We hadn't seen Texas do that. So listen, I'm a man of God, so faith is a big part of my life. But I would basically have been picking that game on faith. And Texas would automatically become a great third down team, and they would become a great pass protection team against the best pass rushing unit in the country, and against the best third down defense in the country. So for me, I'm a man. I watch the film, I take notes, and that's usually what I go off of. I go off what I've seen, what I have evidence of, and there was no evidence of that.
Yeah.
All right. A couple more super chats coming in. Humble Hustle says we need to keep this O-line combo at work today. I think everybody would nod their head in agreement, right? We also need to keep Trey Wisner healthy, hopefully. Carson Wright says extend Brent Venables. OU sucks. Hook him. I tell you what, after that performance today in Red River, I don't know. And unless they are better than I think they will down the stretch, I think this may be Brent Venables' last Red River.
Wow.
Ooh,
I know he's 5-0 going into the game, but dude, you got beat by multiple scores in 3 out of your 4 attempts.
Well, your quarterback's not going to be healthy the rest of the year. You can't run the football between the tackles, and your offensive line's got issues. And look at the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't run the football on the road. Good luck in this conference. Texas saw it last week.
Yep. Brooke Atkinson, Bobby, I think you did predict 2 losses before becoming a great team in the latter part of the season. Really glad we beat OU with material, so we don't have to listen to Sooner excuses. I agree with that, by the way. You wanted to play there was some thought, I think Texas would really have an easy opportunity with or an easier opportunity, I should say, with Michael Hawkins, but clearly they did a good job with John Mateer as well. I'm anxious to see how we do from here. Something that Jerry mentioned at the very outset. You can't just let it go. Busy time, Survivor. Are you going to spike the ball over your colleagues? Love you all. Cook them. Bobby called. No, I'm not. I wasn't the only one, by the way. We have 13 people that picked this game. There are only 3 that picked against Texas. Mm-hmm. Now, it was Jerry, Rod, and CJ Vogel. So y'all take it up with those guys. All right. A couple more here. Brandon Benavides, is our loss to OU look better if UF beats A&M? Probably so. But we'll see. That game's
21-14 in the second quarter, and A&M's going to go for 500 and 600 yards in this game, it looks like.
What you're saying is Florida's defense is not putting much.
Yeah.
Eddie Lee says, now hit the gas, not the brakes.
Yes, sir.
All gas, no brakes. Hey, guys, CJ Vogel's going to join us from the postgame here in a little bit. I'm going to step away real quick. I've got to change my battery out. So I'm going to let CJ take it from here. You guys, I'll be right back and be able to be back on, okay?
All right.
Once CJ joins. Matt, will you take over and let Rod lead for a little bit, please?
All right. Thanks, Bobby. Thank you for the super chat, Eddie. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Jesse up next says, thank you for the super chat. Big takeaway, getting our first non-offensive touchdown. That is big in terms of momentum. It felt like the nail in the coffin, even though it came early on. That felt like the nail in the coffin, a non-offensive touchdown.
Yeah. Look, and Ryan Nibble is such an interesting punt returner because he doesn't really field the ball that often, but when he does, he's making big plays.
He's making big plays.
I just hope his confidence continues to grow because, there's going to be games this season where on the road where you can't give up 15 yards and just let the ball hit the ground and give up 15 yards. He needs to field the football and continue to build himself as a player. But that was so awesome for Ryan Niblett because he could have transferred. And I'm sure Sark talked about it in the post game. We'll have to wait and see. But Ryan Niblett easily could have transferred. People probably tried to get him to jump in the portal, say you'll get 40 targets at school X for 500 yards. And he stayed the course in an era where everybody, not everybody, a large percentage of players hit the portal. And he stuck it out, and you love to see good things happen for guys who stick it out like that. Because in today's day and age of portal, a lot of guys would have hit the portal in that scenario.
Hey, Terrence Jones, thank you for the super chat. Said we got lucky on that punt return TD. There was a clear block in the back. It was a clear block.
Yes.
CJ Vogel joining us. CJ, what's going on, brother? What were your thoughts overall about the Longhorn victory and the performance that we saw from Texas?
Yeah, that was as close to a full, complete game as we've seen from Texas this year, and it was against a team with a pulse. So that's encouraging. Texas, again, started very slow. I thought too many 3rd and 20s. They might have had a 3rd and a mile or two in there as well. But look, when your opposing head coach comes out and says, for the 2nd straight year, we've got mauled in the line of scrimmage, whether it's offensive line or defensive line, that's a great sign. And that's something that I don't think we've seen at all at any point this season. So that's a tremendous step in the right direction for this team. Again, very, very much against the wall right now. And I thought this Texas team came out and performed very well. Jared, to your point, hat tip to Ryan Niblett, because on that screen for the next 25 or 30 years, that exact play will be shown. And it's going to be received very well by the fans on that side of the stadium. But to your point, when he receives the football and he catches it cleanly, good things happen. I just hope he does it a little bit more, because good things do, in fact, happen when he fields that punt.
CJ, what were your thoughts about the way Arch played today? Obviously, Arch Manning helped. I think he handled himself really well going up against one of the best pass rushers in the country. What were your thoughts about the plays that Arch was able to make in the game in the second half?
Yeah, it's funny. So I keep a little notebook whenever I'm up in the box, and on that notebook, I write down moments. And as the game continues, I say, okay, these are big plays. I'm going to have to come back in my rewatch just to see what it looked like. What was the read? How did the ball end up where it ended up? And last week in Florida, these good and bad moments, I had more bad moments, obviously, than good. And my good moments were probably about 2 or 3. It wasn't very deep. As I was sitting up there today, I had to flip the page. I loved what I saw from Arch rolling out of the pocket. He threw backwards, kind of across the field, a little bit too much for my liking. But when it works like that in a game like this, you can't do anything but tip your cap. I thought he had some big-time moments. We'll rewatch the tape down here on the goal line play to Parker Livingston, in which he just kind of sailed it out of the back of the end zone. He didn't pull the trigger there. But I do think, again, you're seeing him grow into the quarterback that was expected coming into the season. And I thought, again, he was given more time in the pocket at times than he maybe even expected coming into today.
Hey, CJ.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Did Sark have anything interesting to say post-game? Anything of note?
Well, the big thing for me is, Sark said, my team responded today.
Yeah.
We heard all, and I'm quoting Sark here. He said, we heard all the shit that was talked about our team coming into this week. We heard it all.
Good.
And to come out and perform again, Venables, for the 2nd straight year, says Texas dominated the offense and defensive line. That is something that was very much pushed in practice leading up, is play with that physicality. Play like this means something to you, and they certainly did this afternoon.
Hey, CJ, inside the stadium there, it was they showed one panorama shot of the stadium, and all the OU fans were gone in the 4th quarter. What was it like? What was it? Yeah, I know you liked it. What was it like there inside the stadium at the Cotton Bowl today?
Yeah, no, it was fun.
Rod's waving by to all the OU fans.
That's like Arch. Didn't Arch do that to the fans? Did Arch say bye to the Oklahoma fans? Yeah. Nice.
And again, that's the swagger, Rod. He's taking the steps in the right direction in that regard. But you see, I'm pointing back. This is the Oklahoma side right there. This up here is where we're sitting now in the media. Originally.
Yep. 50-yard line.
Yeah.
We lost you a little bit,
that
CJ, when you
all the way up.
we lost you a little bit when you did that.
Moving
okay.
too much, but
Yeah, I got you.
We saw them file out immediately. It was enjoyable. Good showing for Texas. The fans were tremendous as well. Great environment.
Okay, good stuff. All right, CJ, thank you so much. We'll talk to you more a little bit tomorrow as well on our grade section. But be safe getting out of there. Go have a Yingling flight on me.
That's right.
Take care, CJ. Welcome.
Thanks,
Oh,
again.
there he goes. He's going to the fair.
Get him a
Going to the
condo.
fair. That's CJ. The game is starting to slow down for Arch. Good point from Cade Stewart. O-line grew up today. RBs ran hard. Defense proved they are elite. 1 week at a time, but Texas won't be an easy out. That's what I've been saying for a while. I mean, look, they've lost 2 games, both by 1 score. Watch for Arch to get back in the Heisman convo late. I don't know about that this year.
No,
I don't think they have the schedule for that, and I don't know that they have the overall offensive firepower to do that this year. But every other part of that statement, I agree with. Do y'all think that the game's slowing down for Arch right now, Rod? What do you think? You're a defensive back.
Yeah, I think there's still some times where he is uncertain about those. I mean, you just mentioned that there's a Livingston play down there before he throws a touchdown to DeAndre Moore where they scheme Livingston open, almost kind of like an RPO fake throw, and he was wide open. And there's a window, and he decided not to. And then once you wait, then you might as well decide not to throw it away, because to wait means you're going to throw it late, and you don't want to be late in the red zone like that. So I still think he hesitates sometimes instead of just pulling the trigger on when he sees it. He's not confident every time in what he sees. But man, there are these flashes, and I think more and more we're starting to see those flashes turn into consistency, where he can keep plays alive and make plays that are obviously dead, or plays that are deciding or are deteriorating, and he can actually rejuvenate those plays, and he can actually turn something into them out of scrambles and scramble drills. And I think that's where he's done a really good job. And he's great at avoidance too. Sack avoidance. He's actually one of the better players in the country at avoiding sacks. Texas only had 1 in this game. I think that's 10 on the season. Considering how much pressure he's been under, you'd have thought he'd have been sacked more than 10 times. Considering
I want
a lot.
I want to say this for Arch or any young quarterback, young in terms of starts. Nothing makes the game look like it's slowing down more than 3rd and manageables.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean,
you're right.
The guy, he was at the average 3rd down was 3rd and 11 at Florida.
Yeah, you're right.
Mean, how many quarterbacks are really going to be successful there when you're playing from behind the entire game? Now, at his 2-minute drill at the end of that game, the Florida game is going to be his learning experience, because that wasn't good. But the rest of that game, while it was a 1-score game, that game was not really 1 score. Yep. I mean, it really wasn't played that way.
I hear you. No, they got beat worse than the score.
Yeah, so for a young quarterback, I mean, if you're always playing in 3rd and longs, 3rd and 11s, that's a tough place to grow as a quarterback. I mean, you're playing behind the chains all the time with as much pressure as the name Manning has. That's a tough place to grow.
They probably
the expectations of this team.
They probably ended up with a 3rd and long on average in this one too, just because remember they had them early 3rd and 30s and 3rd and 20 something. So if you look at the 3rd down, I guarantee it's probably a 3rd and long on average.
Yeah, it could be, but
eye test wise, it was they won on early downs.
I will say this: take the median, not the mean.
Yeah, see, I knew they was going to be, because they were so damn.
Right.
But it wasn't that in the second half. I'll tell you that much.
Of course.
And for that reason, Steve Cap is right. Victory, cigar, and bourbon. Let's have it. Right. Good to you, Steve. I agree. As part of that, Taylor Johnson said, checked on Sooner Surge. The Just are arguing with each other. Niblet finally caught the punt, and look what happens. What a change in the run game with Trey Wisner. I do believe that he was maybe the story of this game in many ways, as was the continued improvement of Arch Manning, the offensive line looks better when the running back is better.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a little bit of truth to that too?
Yep.
Doesn't he make them look a little bit better?
Yep.
I think so. Stevano Rojas with the super chat. Thank you very much, Stevano. Beard, the Trey Wisner, does Texas win at Florida?
No.
Weiser. You don't think so because they just
No,
got
because
beat.
they didn't match the physicality out of the gate in that game. They didn't match the intensity, the passion, or physicality. Absolutely not.
Okay. Lane C. Right. When Sark's team has a chip on its shoulder, they play better, like the revenge tour in last year of Big 12. There's a little bit of that to them. Kirby is a master at that. Kirby Smart, even when they're number one. I hope Sark continues to do so. Look, if they're going to win out, they're going to they're going to not only have to beat Kentucky and Mississippi State on the road, beat Vanderbilt, Arkansas, and A&M at home. They're going to go on the road and beat Kirby.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's in this team. I really don't.
Can I change this comment in a way?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Sark's team plays better when Sark has a chip on his shoulder.
Maybe
I
so.
want to change it. It's more than just the players.
That's fair.
When Sark has a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah, this is a big game.
Who do you think told this team this week, you're not going to eat at the tank with the rest of the athletes? It wasn't the players. Sark, everybody has to have a chip on their shoulder in this game. There's too much on the line. It's too much of a violent game. Everybody has to.
Good point, Jerry. Really good point. Jesse, Jeremy, I see a lot of similarities in both Quinn and Arch as far as their maturity in navigating the pocket. I will say this. I think Arch is already better in the pocket than Quinn was at Texas.
Yeah.
Y'all, we agree with that?
Yeah.
Everybody, all three of us?
Yeah.
So, Jesse, I think that even though he may not be as good a quarterback yet as Quinn was, but I think he navigates the pocket much better. He's a better athlete. Bryson Bass, preseason record predictions have been correct so far. And I also had him going 10-2 preseason. They're 4-2. They got to win 7 straight to get there for us, buddy. So we'll take that one. Aaron Guerra, Sark helped Arch out by calling quicker passes and not deeper, allowing developing plays. He also moved the pocket, which helped Arch in the O-line. He didn't move the pocket that much, but I tell you what, I go back to something we talked about early, Rod and Jerry, and that is just the dump downs to Trey Wisner.
Yep, check downs.
Instead of, throw it out or throw it away. And Wisner on a 1-3rd down where Texas went up by 2 scores, I think, on that 3rd down, or went up by another score in the 3rd quarter. Wisner had a 3rd and 7. He caught it, and the OU guy had him dead to rights. Wisner made 2 guys miss.
Yeah,
he got a first. That was a key play in this game, in my opinion, because it kept the drive alive, kept OU off the field, kept Texas defense fresh.
I remember that.
Those are big plays. KD35, I'm the best. Not gonna lie, what was Venables thinking going for the jugular right before that? I think that was a huge momentum swing. Jerry, you were doing the in-game watch at that time, right? You're like, so if that would have been Sark, you would have said, take the points.
Well, I just didn't understand the whole waiting to call the timeout there till they could have got 2 more plays off.
Yeah,
exactly.
None of that made sense at the end of the game, at the end of the half. And I wasn't doing the watch with us, but I was having my own watch with us in the room at that time. But the whole thing didn't make sense to me. They could have got 2 or 3 plays off.
Mm-hmm.
And they put Mateer in a position to fail on that play is what they did.
Agreed.
Well, that time management.
All right, JJ finally won in all 3 phases. Hopefully we can keep it going. And Bobby, we trust prediction 6 for 6. I'm ready for it.
6 for 6.
Zane Petty, Sooner FAFO today. There's some truth there. Hookem, great win from Ed B. Appreciate you, Ed B. Where's CJ? He just came in. Our honorary Sooner brought to us live from down at the floor of the Cotton Bowl. Alan Balch, did the 3 games after Ohio State hurt us? If Ohio State would have been the 2nd game, if you know what I mean, then they would have had something to work on. It almost felt like, I do think that hurt a little bit, actually.
3 in a row?
Much? I don't know. A little bit. It's like you weren't prepared to go to Florida because it had been a month since you'd played a real game.
I agree with that. Being battle tested.
That's an excuse. I will add That is an excuse.
100%.
It is an excuse, but I think it's a legitimate excuse.
I think it's hard to bring the emotion to games you're going to win big.
Yeah.
But that has no bearing to me on Florida. They got on a plane. They got on a plane in a must-win situation, and they didn't show up physically. So I don't think that has any bearing on it. That was just unacceptable.
No show.
All right. This is a big one, guys. Rod, you may have to wear your helmet a couple times. Hook them. This is from Zach Harvey. Hook them. Let's keep it rolling, guys. Hey, this is a big we're going through these super chats, but I think it's time to just step back a second. And Zach, thank you so much. This is a big win for Texas. It's a big win for Arch Manning.
Huge.
Yes, I think that this may be the win that you sit back and look at if they continue to win out now and win the games they're supposed to, Rod and Jerry. It's going to be the one where you say, okay, he kind of grew up. I thought at Florida he grew up some.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was the one where, okay, to the point that I was making earlier, it's the one where everything kind of came together. No, and he didn't, by the way, how many deep balls did Arch Manning throw today? Like true deep balls.
Not many.
Do you remember one?
I've said maybe. I don't know. One maybe.
Jerry, you remember any deep balls?
Maybe one.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I can even tell you one. Zach, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate it. Sugarcane Daddy says, screw the Athletic, screw the New York Times. I'm not into all that media bashing. I'm not into that. But I will say this, that writer, he has no business writing for anybody, in my opinion. William Langston, let's talk about those freshmen. Brooks, Littleton, Jackson all played great. I thought, who saw some time today also was a sophomore, and that's Xavier Filsaime.
I saw him out there. Yeah.
He saw quite a few, Jerry and Rod, and so he got some reps when Warren Roberson was at corner at times today. Both Manny Muhammad and Jalen Gilbo went down at times against OU. Yet, I mean, Texas still was able to play pretty well. Right. Jared, did you notice any other freshmen out there? Lance Jackson,
James Simon. Watch, I think he needs to be the number 2 running back. I think that's this thing that needs to go the way of Nick Brooks. James Simon needs to be the number 2 running back. Nick Townsend played a lot in 12 personnel as a.
So did Amari Winston.
And Amari Winston was out there as well. So a number of true freshmen. Nick Townsend's going to be a key blocking in the run game with this team. I think that's a known right now from the tight end position. And I think we'll see more of those guys in the passing game as the season moves along.
All right, a couple of other questions here. These are all from Bobby, the Mayo spreader. First of all, he starts. Let's get this. He's I'm not gonna say that over the air. But, we know what that means. And then he also says burnt vegetables equals fired burnt vegetables. And then he asks, where do we rank on Monday? You think Texas even gets back in?
I hope it's unranked.
They'll be ranked.
But they will
Jerry
be.
But hopes it's on. I agree with Jerry on this. They may be ranked.
Yeah.
God, I'd love them to be like 28.
Yeah.
27. You know what I mean? Because I don't get any. I don't care if Texas comes in at number 22. I'd rather them have that edge, Rod.
Yeah, if they want this Arch Manning, they want a reason to talk about Arch, so they'll rank.
Well, and it's got to be some build up to the game next week. So Texas will be probably 20-21.
Yep.
But look, that's we're looking for something to build from this week to the next 2 weeks.
I completely agree. All right, guy says, how about Arch Manning today? 21 of 27, 166.
It's amazing.
Really managed the game like a Manning. Is that not y'all feel that way? I've kind of felt like you could see him kind of slowing his roll a little bit and absorbing and getting in and out of plays, ran the play clock down well. Just some little things.
We always, talk about, we use the term, game manager like it's a slur for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Ultimately, every quarterback in their development needs to learn how to manage a game, whether they want to be called a game manager or not. You need to learn how to manage the game. And I do feel like he managed the game really well. And like I said, kept you out of negative plays. Go watch how many times he kept you out of a bad and negative play because if you avoided a sack or whether you tried to scramble a scramble drill. And I think, and even like I said, he was sacked, and honestly, on that sack, there was an attempt to kind of strip the football, and he held on to the football too. And like you said, didn't put the football in harm's way. Didn't have a lot of plays where, oh man, that was almost a pick by Arch. Oh man, look how he could have thrown it. That could have been an interception. You didn't have those moments. So I just thought he was a great game manager. And for that being one of the early stages of his development, I think that's why he looked so calm, cool, and collected in the midst of this, unique environment here at Texas OU.
I just want to say this. Stats, development, all that stuff for Arch. I was happy for him as a human being. Because that guy's going to take more crap than any college athlete. We've talked about this for 2 years. And you know what? He'll be built up in the next bad game. He'll be torn down again. And it's going to be a vicious process for him. And you just like to see a smile on his face and him have some success, because I'm here to tell you, we talked about it after that UTEP game. You kind of were like, oof, man. He's in a low confidence place.
Yep.
And he has a lot of great things in his life, and that's great. But he's also, you cheer for the people that are the first guys in the facility and the last guys to leave that do everything right. And I was really happy for him. That's not about stats. It's not about anything like that. It's about it's great to be Arch Manning. It's also, Rod, you lived this with Chris Sims, but it's a million times worse because it's Manning and it's the social media day and age.
Yep.
There's a lot of great things about having that last name, but when it's bad, there's a lot of brutal things about having that name. So I was just happy because he just done all the right things since he's been at Texas. You want to see that guy have success. It's not about picking him over another guy or being biased or not. It's not about that. It's just when guys come in and do all the right things, you want to see him have success. Because that's a fishbowl that's a tough one to live in.
Yeah, it is.
All right, guys, we need to do a couple of ad reads here. Flight is the next generation of light beer. Going to have a little bit of that tonight, I think, with only 95 calories. It's an easy drinking upscale light beer designed to elevate your taste buds with just 2.6 carbs per serving. Flight is an easy-to-drink beer with a clean, crisp taste. Try Flight from Yingling, thanks to the fine folks at Flight, as well as our friends over at Faust Distributing. I want to say this as well. Thank you to all of our sponsors on our game day each and every week. We try to do this as much as possible and get you guys as much content as we can. Thank you also to our friends over at Hargrove Roofing. Know who's on your roof. As well as Vaughn Lane. Get anywhere in the state of Texas, big cities on Vaughn Lane. And as well, Tito's Handmade Vodka, proud sponsor of the Texas Longhorns, distilled and bottled by Fifth Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. Alcohol by 4% alcohol by volume. Please savor responsibly. All of those, plus Flight, our post-game sponsor. Appreciate them all very, very much, as well as you guys. Here we go. So some people get now talking about this. So we're firing Sark and Flood yet?
College sports is week to week, baby. Kentucky goes out and sacks the quarterback 8 times next week. And
hey, and Nick Espinoza. Hey, OTF, legitimate question here. OU has failed to score a touchdown against Texas in 3 of 4 years. Are we even rivals anymore? If you would have been out at the state fair today, Nick, you would not be asking that question. I was there. I mean, Texas and OU are going to be rivals forever, my man.
Forever, brother.
Yeah, I did. I rubbed elbows with too many today. It's just the way of the world. Would you agree with that, Jerry?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right. Jay Tom, Jerry, Rod, and Bobby, have y'all noticed a difference in the shoulder rolling between Ohio State versus OU? He's not doing it as much. So is it nerves?
Oh, you talking about
that? But you're only seeing it on TV.
That's
in
true.
fairness, Jay Tom, He could be doing it at other times.
No, we just
It did look like he's doing it less. That might be a good question. Let's ask CJ that question.
He was doing that. He did that in high school. I've said this before. So people that didn't see him, he's always done that. That wasn't like a nerves thing first game of the year. He's always done that.
Okay.
Rod, you did not see this today on the tailgate, but the namesake of this post, Mayo Corn Dog, occurred today in front of myself and Tony Hills.
Nice.
Gary Hamilton went Mayo Corn Dog to start the tailgate show.
Yeah.
Mayo Corn Dog says Colin Simmons deserves some love. He had a game. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He was a better pass rusher between him and R. Mason Thomas today.
Remember, against Florida, he's one of the only guys that flashed for you on defense. Maybe he had those.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, maybe he's starting to, trend in the right way. Maybe starting to heat up a little bit.
Okay. All right. We got Steve Sarkisian here. I want to throw to right now. Matt has got this post-game comment coming up.
First and foremost, really proud of our players. This was not an easy week for them. When you have a gut check moment like we had last Saturday, and really for the entire week, their ability to respond the way that they did this week, not only during the game, but their ability to quiet the noise. There was a lot of noise outside of our building, and their ability to stay connected to one another and put in the effort, to put forth the work, to put in the preparation, and then to come out and play our brand, our style of football. And I thought we played a very physical game. I thought we played complementary football. All three phases were tied together. We had a game plan, and the guys executed it. And I thought we got better as the game went on in executing that plan. And ultimately, the result was the result. And so, again, I'm just proud of these guys, and I'm proud of those guys down that locker room for trusting the plan and executing the plan and playing, our brand of football today.
Rod, all three of those guys that were at the podium with Stark, Arch, Trey Wisner, Manny Muhammad, all from the same recruiting class. Oh, this is the Mayo Corn Dog moment too, Rod. I could not handle that.
Oh, man.
I could not watch that. Tony Hills is trying to look the other way. I don't know if you noticed that or not.
Jerry.
Yeah, but what did you think of Sark? What Sark said there, Rod?
Yeah, it's kind of what you guys talked about, right? How they weren't eating with the rest of the Texas athletes, circling the wagon. It's kind of it was a them against the world week.
Good.
They heard all the outside noise, they heard all the criticism coming from close to home to national sources, and I think it was their moment to really galvanize as a team, and I think that's what they're most proud of, is that
they should be.
They answered the bell. Like, everybody challenged him. I challenged him too. I didn't pick him because I was like, man, I don't see a team that didn't show up for Florida on lines of scrimmage showing up in this game, which is all about the lines of scrimmage.
Yeah.
They would come in and dominate, but they did. And so they answered the bell. And that's what, to me, is the biggest moment of growth for this team, is that when they had to show up, they did. And now let's make that every Saturday when you got to show up.
Yeah.
Now, Texas OU is a big game now. You don't get bigger than Texas OU. And they all showed up for the biggest game. Or I know people talk about Ohio State, it is, but everybody knows Texas OU is in your DNA as a Longhorn fan or a Sooner fan. You got to win that game, and this group showed up. That was, like I said, that was a moment of maturity for me to watch them grow up in this game.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was a culture test this week. This was the first time since Sark flipped the program that it was backs were against the wall.
Yep,
it was a different week for Sark in this program than it's been in a while, and that's the thing. Look, it's all about how you respond to adversity. That's what I mean. How much is that in athletics can you point to in every sport throughout seasons, throughout games? It's always the same. And look, what did he say at first? We played physical. What do you think he told his team all week? Do you think he went in and said to the team, hey, we're all right. I know we got pushed around. It's all right, guys. No, that's not how the week went. They didn't tell those guys everything's all right. It's going to be good, baby. They were challenged the hell out of these guys all week, and they challenged themselves, by the way.
It worked. Right.
Here we go. Jonathan Forrester, hook 'em. Sark doesn't have a good track record, at least in his opinion, of making adjustments out of halftime. Yet this game, he smoked the world. Y'all agreed? What
Yeah, and he won against Venables.
what was the? Let me ask you this: what were those halftime adjustments in your estimation?
Well, that's a good. I mean, in terms of what he did coming out of the half, I think they had better execution. I think they found something right before the half. Honestly,
Well, with the run game, right?
yeah, I think they found right that drive. They had a double-digit drive right before.
Yeah.
That. I think that's. I think we go back. That's probably when they found it, right then. And it was something. And it was. I think it was the outside zone, pretty much.
Yes.
I think it's pretty much the split zone, outside zone is what they went back to, which has been their bread and butter run concept. But to your point, Jonathan, what's interesting about it is that he was matching wits with Venables for the first time too. Because remember, Brent Venables was calling the plays in this game with a really good defense. And I thought that would be advantage Oklahoma potentially, considering the limitations of the Texas offense. That was not the case. I mean, Sark definitely got the better of Venables in this matchup, especially when it came to adjustments. You could make the argument Venables might have won preparation and game planning because of the way they came out in the first half. But in terms of the battle of adjustments, which Sark, by the way, doesn't usually win, to Jonathan's point, he won. They made the better adjustment. He won the battle of adjustments and won the game. That's what won you the game. It usually does.
I'm looking at these stats. Also, Texas is going to be a hard team to beat if they have one penalty in the second half, if they have 0 turnovers, and Arch goes 11 of 13.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's a recipe for winning football.
Yeah.
And much less against OU. That is a healthy recipe.
8 of 11.
Look at the third stickers. Arch,
Look at
21 of 27, 166. Wise, there 22 carries for 94 yards. Niplett, 75-yard punt return for touchdown. Manny Muhammad, I would give you one, too. 2 interceptions. Although both of them looked like they were kind of airmailed. You were in the right spot. You came down with them.
Hey.
All fair. So good. There were quite a few helmet stickers. I think we would all give one to the defensive line and the offensive line as well. Will we not? I think they all deserve it. Darren Rudder, will I see the OTF crew in Lexington? CJ and I will definitely be up there. Jerry's got some high school games he's got to go to. Rod, you're in Austin. You and Jeff will be in Austin. Taylor Johnson, the red zone. Why can't we score there? They scored there today.
Yeah, that's a touchdown pass. Right?
Yeah, it's touchdown pass. 2 touchdowns. Yeah, and they kicked the field goal in the red zone as well.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like Arch missed a RPO, and they kind of detailed that heavily in the game coverage as well. But I mean, Taylor, look, it's going to happen. Michael, my business. Where is Jonah Williams? Did not see him. Was he on kick coverage at all? Did y'all see him at all?
I have to go back and look. Yeah, that's hard to. I had to go back and look at the snap counts of everybody.
All right, a couple of recruiting questions for you, Jerry. How do you think this game was for recruiting? Give us some names of people that were there. Also, Humble Hustle says a great game for the recruits. Tell people, first of all, some of the big names that we believe were there for the game, so they have a understanding of kind of the magnitude of the players.
Yeah, I mean, John Turntine, right? Derek Cooper, Diabell, a lot of your out-of-state guys were there, obviously, but your DFW guys, your committed guys, Max Wright, Cohen Brown, all those guys, 27 guys.
Jermaine Bishop.
Yeah, I mean, since the change in the 2:30 kick is big because more kids can come to this game than 11 a.m. You can get from Houston to Dallas for this game after a Friday night football game. So there's a lot of 2027s there. But here's the thing with it's a great environment, win or lose. I mean, the year Texas lost 34-30 to Dylan Gabriel, every kid had unbelievable things to say about the experience of being at the game. And I think that's the case every year as long as it's competitive games, right? Yeah. But so, again, you have to build off these things, though. You have to build off these things because who is Texas recruiting against? Ohio State and Georgia, who's down 10-0 Auburn right now, and everybody else in America. Notre Dame is recruiting Texas more than ever, and you're going to recruit in the Southeast more than ever. Miami, you're in head-to-heads with Miami these days. So it's got to continue, but it's an unbelievable atmosphere. And I think what it does is for a kid like a Derek Cooper, and I haven't talked to Derek since the game, but he was already a guy that committed to 2 out-of-state schools. So he already had the feeling of wanting to get away to do something different. And now he got to see something really different today. And you do not get that anywhere else in the state of Florida. on a Saturday, what he witnessed today, and that will just further his mind.
All right, Eric Schilling says, crazy what happens when Sark runs more than 10 times. It's crazy what happens when you have a running back that may be able to run outside zone too.
Yeah.
Trey Wise are pretty good at it.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll see if they, to y'all's point, we'll see if it keeps up in Lexington because Nick Brooks, look, Mark Stoops may not do many things. His teams typically play pretty good defense.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Texas comes ready and prepared for that, Eric. Total Archery, you did say, that was Jerry, said that if Texas over 50% on third down, they would have a chance to win. I didn't see it happening, but I'll be damned. Me too. I didn't. That's one of the reasons I said, Jerry, you got to be on the post game because you talked about this third down performance that nobody in there, I don't know of anybody else.
Nobody.
Even put that into the category of being a thing. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I just looked at Florida's struggles and said it's not that I predicted it. It's just something Texas had to do. If they didn't get in third and shorts in this game, they weren't going to win the game. So again, people that are watching Georgia Auburn right now, it's eerie how some of these things kind of happen with some of these teams. You look at Georgia and Auburn right now. What does Auburn have? 2 tough road losses. What are they? This is like Florida versus Texas last week. There's a lot of, and Georgia may still win this game, but Georgia was in for a real fight in this game on the road because Auburn had played 2 one-score games on the road this year and felt like they got robbed on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, but Texas just, if they play in 3rd and 4.5, 3rd and 5, the next 2 weeks, they're going to win both of those games.
Let's do it. Let's do it. As a friend of mine, he charters a Von Lane bus. Or a guy that I know charters a Von Lane bus every year from Houston to Dallas and back. He and his friends. They say hello. First of all, they're listening in, and also they say the libations are flowing on that bus. And with that, I'll let everybody else go let their libations flow because the Longhorns emerge with a 23-6 victory over an Oklahoma team that was undefeated. It was a decisive win for the Longhorns. The run game got on track. The Sooners could not run the ball. Texas defense dominated, picking off John Mateer in his return 3 times. Also, Arch Manning, we mentioned his command, but really welcome back, Trey Wisner, to this football team because I believe that part of this is you need a running back. You need a running back that wants to be that can be a partner in crime for your quarterback. You really do need that. Otherwise, it's too much on that quarterback's shoulder, especially someone who's a first-year starter. So, all right, final thoughts. Jerry, I'll start with you. Then, Rod, you'll be next.
It was a culture test week. Sark said it. Texas came back and passed the test. That was great to see because every game's a must-win from here on out. But this was a must-win culture game. Those are the must-win culture games. Weird things happen when you have high expectations and your season starts to go haywire. So this was they're all must-win games, but this was from a culture standpoint, was an absolute must-win game. And now my biggest thing is you don't want to be the team that does this. Mm-hmm. So let's see if this team truly is going to grow. Yeah. Because there's some big games left on the schedule. Kentucky just had an off week, by the way. They didn't play today. They had an off week. So they'll be ready for Texas. If you don't go and play well next week, Georgia won 13-12 at Kentucky last year. I mean, you can be in a dogfight any week. I just want to see the growth from this from a consistency standpoint. That's when you go from being a collection of talent to a team.
Rod D, your final thoughts, buddy.
Yeah, I agree with Jerry. I also think I want to see how this team handles success.
Yes.
We've seen them handle adversity, and they did it really well. Love how it brought them together, galvanized the group, brought out the best in Sark, brought out the best in Arch, and brought out the best in your lines of scrimmage. Now, going back to the last time they had success, was that 3-game win streak over the Cupcakes. And after the Sam Houston State game, everybody was talking about, oh, it looks like that's the arch that we all knew and loved and everything. And I think this team might have taken all those compliments. It might have gone to their head just a little bit, and they got a little bit distracted, and they weren't focused, and they lost that sense of urgency and that sense of that hunger, that competitive sickness that they all need. And I think they got it back a little bit versus Oklahoma. And now I want to see how they handle that success week to week. And they know the talent is there. There's no doubt about that. But this is the best game they've played so far. There's no question. All 3 phases. Saw them actually, I think, play with passion, and I saw a team and not just a collection of talent to what Jerry's talking about. So love where this team is now, love the growth, but it's a week-to-week journey. You don't want to see regression.
All right, that's going to do it for this On Texas Football postgame show. Thanks again to Flight by Yingling, our postgame sponsor, as well as other sponsors of Game Day, not only Hargrove Roofing, know who's on your roof, Von Lane, get on the bus, as well as Tito's, your official sponsor of the Texas Longhorns. Enjoy Tito's. You guys have a good one. We've had a good one here in Dallas. We'll have more for you tomorrow all day after you get up with your hangover because you've been having so much fun tonight. Guys, Rod, thank you so much. Jerry, thank you so much. And, hey, guys, it's been an extra long day for our producer, Matt Hutchison.
Yes.
Thank you to him as well. You guys, hook 'em horns. Have a good one. Texas wins 23-6.
And OU still sucks. Woo!